Hello everyone. We are back with another lecture on Australian literature. This is part 3 of the series. And today's class will be about one of the major authors of Australian literature, Banjo Paterson, A.B. Paterson. Andrew Barton Paterson was the original name of Banjo Paterson. He was a poet, journalist, war correspondent, and solicitor. He was one of Australia's most beloved bush poets, known for capturing the spirit of rural and outback life. This is the picture of Banjo Paterson as a young man. He was born on 17th February 1864 at Narambla in New South Wales. How did the name called Banjo was attached to his second name? So he became known as Banjo after a favorite horse from his childhood. So his beloved horse's name was attached to his name. And before becoming a famous writer, he worked as a lawyer or solicitor in Sydney. He also had experience as a war correspondent during the Boer War and World War One. Banjo Paterson also wrote on rugby league football in the 1920s for the Sydney Sportsman. So, most of the life of Banjo Paterson, though he was born in another place, he spent most of his life in Sydney. And there he died of a heart attack on 5th February 1941, aged 76. His most famous bush poems are Clancy of the Overflow. It was published in 1889. The Man from Snowy River, 1890. The Man from Ironback, 1892. Waltzing Matilda, which unofficially became the national anthem of Australia in 1895. He is so famous as a poet, as a persona in Australian culture that his face appears on the Australian $10 banknote, a sign of his lasting importance to Australian culture. So you can see Song of the Pen, complete works of Australia as Banjo Paterson on the right hand. Okay, so moving on. This was an exploding work from Banjo Paterson, and for a poetry collection to sell 10,000 copies in the first year of the publication was a phenomenon. It is a phenomenon even now. So, The Man from Snowy River, the collection of poetry from the first collection of poetry written by Banjo Paterson, which came out in the year 1895, was such an explosion. And one of the most famous poems written by him, the ones we have already mentioned, The Man from Snowy River, Clancy of the Overflow, Salt Bush Bill, The Geebung Polo Club, all these poems are from this collection. And it celebrates Australian bush life. His vivid storytelling and musical rhythm helped popularize bush ballad poetry. What is bush ballad? Let's see in the next slide. Also, you can see on the right hand side, it's a famous film based on the poem, The Man from Snowy River, and it is a 1982 adaptation. Let's see what is a bush ballad. A bush ballad is a narrative poem or song that tells a story about life in the Australian bush. Australian bush means the rural countryside and outback of Australia. And it was popular in the late 19th century, the times where Banjo Paterson wrote, and helped shape Australia's national identity. By the time Australia became a Commonwealth country 1901. It helped uh, popularizing the national identity of Australia. And these ballads often feature stockmen, drovers, shearers, and bushworkers, all connected to rural life. Horses, cattle, and the rugged Australian landscape. It always portrayed adventure. It had so much courage, mateship, mateship means friendship, and resilience. And it was so popular in the oral culture of Australia because it was in the form of a song predominantly, so people could by heart it even without trying. So the rhythmic style made them sing along. So that made it so popular. Now we are talking about the poem, The Man from the Snowy River. So, though the collection was published in 1895, this poem was published before that in the Bulletin, the famous magazine in Australia. And the most famous bush ballad, you can say, is this by Banjo Paterson and first published in 1890. And it tells the story of a young horseman from the Snowy River region of Australia's high country. And when a valuable racehorse escapes and joins a mob of wild horses, experienced riders set out to capture it. So, in search of a horse, that is what is happening. Most of the riders are afraid to follow the wild horses down a dangerously steep mountainside. However, the young rider from Snowy River bravely charges down the slope and succeeds in bringing them back, earning the admiration of everyone present. That is the story, the courageous story of the man from Snowy River. Let's read the sample of the poem, first two stanzas. This is the first stanza of the poem. Here was movement at the station, for the word had passed around that the colt from old regret had got away and had joined the wild bush horses. He was worth 1,000 pound. So all the cracks had gathered to fray. All the tried and noted riders from the stations near and far had mustered at the homestead overnight. For the bushmen love hard riding where the wild bush horses are, and the stock horse snuffs the battle with delight. So, this is a battle between humans and the beasts. So, you can say a lot of activities taking place at the cattle station, and news has spread that a valuable young horse from a horse station called Old Regret, it has escaped, and it's a tremendously powerful colt or a horse. The colt is worth a great deal of money, 1,000 pound. So everyone is eager to find it. Skilled horsemen, that means cracks, expert riders, they gather to help and they enjoy. There is a lot of rush, excitement when a horse escapes and they ride after them to capture them. So that is why all the experts have come to one place and they are going to find the colt. There was Harrison, who made his pile when Pardon won the cup. The old man with his hair as white as snow, but few could ride beside him when his blood was fairly up. He would go wherever horse and man could go. And Clancy of the Overflow came down to lend a hand. No better horseman ever held the reins. For never horse could throw him while the saddle girths would stand. He learned to ride while droving on the plains. So we meet two characters here. Harrison. Harrison became wealthy because of a horse named Pardon winning an important race. He is now an old man with white hair. Despite his age, he is still an exceptionally brave and skilled rider. Now we have another one, Clancy of the Overflow. This is the famous character from Paterson's earlier poem, and it is in the same universe. So we are introduced to Clancy of the Overflow, whom we know through another poem. Clancy has come to help with the chase. He is described as one of the finest horsemen in Australia. He learned to ride while droving cattle across the plains. So these two characters are introduced, and this is a sample of our poem, The Man from Snowy River. Moving on, introducing another poem, and that is known as Australia's unofficial national anthem. Banjo Paterson's another bush ballad, and it was published in the year 1895. And it can be called a ballad or folk song set in Australian bush near a billabong. We'll, we'll explain what is a billabong. The main character is a swagman. Swagman sets up camp by a billabong and he steals a sheep, a jumbuck, to eat. The sheep's owner and troopers arrive to catch him. What does he do? Swagman jumps into the billabong and drowns to avoid arrest. This is the famous story of the swagman, the lonely swagman, and it sorts of tells the same story in a way of the courage of the rural life of Australia. So you can see Banjo Paterson's bush ballad here, and known as Australia's unofficial national anthem. And you can see the poem here. Oh, there once was a swagman camped in the billabong under the shade of a coolabah tree, and he sang as he looked at his old Billy boiling, who'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. So this is the famous opening lines of or the first stanza of Waltzing Matilda. What happens here? So, oh, there once was a swagman. Swagman is a nomadic, itinerant laborer who travels on foot. So he doesn't have a place of his own. He always travels on his foot and he reaches somewhere and does whatever job he gets and feeds himself and travels on. A nomadic man. So, Billabong means the swagman camped in the Billabong, they say. So, Billabong means a branch of a river forming a backwater or stagnant pool made by water flowing from the main stream during a flood. So, that is what a Billabong means. And it's a branch of a river but not flowing. It's more like a lake or a pool. And under the shade of a coolabah tree. Coolabah tree is a type of eucalyptus tree in Australia. And we have another one, Old Billy boiling. Old Billy is a metal pot. Billy is a metal pot or kettle that he carries. You can see in the picture. And boiling. So, what is the kettle used for? Mostly for making tea. So, Old Billy boiling. And Waltzing Matilda. So, Waltzing Matilda, he sang as he looked at his old Billy boiling, who'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Waltzing means walking with one's belongings in a Matilda. Matilda means swag. So swagman walking, that is what waltzing Matilda. So Matilda slung over one's back, somebody's walking. So who's coming with me? Who'll come a waltzing Matilda with me? All alone. Are you going to give me company? That is the song of the Swagman. So, this is the famous opening of Waltzing Matilda. And now to another genre. A.B. Patterson or Banjo Patterson has also written novels. An Outback Marriage is a novel by A.B. Patterson. It was published in 1900 and it was originally published in the Leader newspaper in Melbourne between 13 January and 12 May in 1900, and it then had the title In No Man's Land. So the change of title highlights different aspect of the narrative. The original title focuses on the In No Man's Land title focuses on the remote and uncertain nature of the Australian bush and the moral ambiguity of life on the frontier. But the later one emphasizes the developing romance plot. That means it focuses on relationships, majorly a marriage, which was more appealing to early 20th century readers because they were predominantly looking for relationship stories, drama. So there are two main characters: Charlie Gordon, a bushman who travels far into the outback to take over a cattle station for Old Man Grant, and Carew. He's an English new chum. New chum means newcomer in Australia, uh, who has come to Australia to search for a missing man called Patrick Henry Considine. And unlike his more romantic and well known ballads, like The Man from Snowy River, this novel contains a more critical, though still flawed, view of colonial life. So it shows that some people in the early 1900s were beginning to acknowledge the hard truths about settler violence against Aboriginal people. So here comes another point of view on A.B. Patterson. Though he is on the $10 polymer banknote from Australia with the his portrait and a picture of a man from Snowy River, he was later criticized by uh, his own people for being a kind of racist against Aboriginal people. But he was also realizing in the 1900s and he was beginning to acknowledge the hard truths about settler violence. So, uh, every though the most celebrated authors, they also had some kind of drawback that's what we should learn from this. So, while the novel is criticized for its racist depiction of indigenous characters, it does suggest that the pioneers were not blameless heroes. So, neither the novelists or poets. So, that is the end of the discussion about Banjo Paterson. Thank you.